Garmin may have just accidentally revealed its most mysterious wearable yet, and this could be the clearest sign so far that the company is preparing to launch a completely new kind of fitness tracker. For months, the device, known internally or publicly through leaks as the Garmin Circa, has been surrounded by trademark filings, certifications, retailer information, and regulatory documents. But this latest discovery is different because, for a brief moment, Circa appeared on Garmin's own official support website. And when a company accidentally lists an unreleased product on its own website, that usually tells us the launch may be getting very close. The discovery was made by Garmin Rumors, who spotted Circa listed on Garmin Romania's support website as one of the devices compatible with Garmin's health status feature. The listing did not remain online for long. Garmin quickly removed it, but not before the information was captured. On the surface, this might seem like a minor mistake, but it could actually be one of the most important Circa leaks we've seen so far. Until now, most of the information about this mysterious wearable has come from third-party sources, including trademark registrations, certifications, retailer databases, and FCC-related filings. This time, however, the device appeared directly inside Garmin's own ecosystem, which strongly suggests that the company is actively preparing its software and support infrastructure for the product. And the listing may also reveal one of the most important things about how Circa is designed to work. Garmin placed the device among products whose health status information is viewed through the Garmin Connect smartphone application rather than directly on the wearable itself. That detail fits perfectly with everything we've heard about Circa so far. Instead of being another traditional Garmin smartwatch with a display, buttons, GPS, and a full set of on-device features, Circa is expected to be a much simpler screenless fitness and health band. In other words, the device may be designed to quietly collect data throughout the day while your smartphone becomes the place where you actually view and analyze that information. That would put Circa in a very different category from Garmin's traditional watches. Rather than competing directly with the Forerunner, Fenix, or Venue lineups, this product appears to be aimed at people who want continuous health and recovery tracking without wearing a full smartwatch. There would be no bright display constantly demanding your attention, no notifications, and potentially no need to charge a large watch every day. You would simply wear the band, let it collect your data, and check the Garmin Connect app when you actually want to understand what your body is doing. The health status connection also gives us some clues about the sensors Garmin may be planning to include. On existing Garmin devices, the health status feature uses multiple measurements to identify changes in your overall condition. These can include heart rate variability, respiratory rate, blood oxygen levels through pulse ox, and skin temperature. Because Circa has now appeared on a compatibility list for this feature, it is reasonable to expect the band to include at least some of these sensors. That could mean a heart rate sensor, pulse ox capabilities, and a skin temperature sensor, all working continuously in the background to build a longer-term picture of your health and recovery. And this is where the product becomes particularly interesting. Garmin already has years of experience collecting health and fitness data from smartwatches. A screenless band could allow the company to focus almost entirely on passive tracking. Instead of using the device for maps, workouts, notifications, music, or apps, the purpose would be simple. Wear it all day and night, collect useful biometric data, and let Garmin's software turn that information into insights. Earlier rumors have also suggested that Garmin could include an EDA sensor in Circa. If that turns out to be accurate, the band could potentially offer more advanced stress monitoring by measuring changes in electrical activity on the skin. EDA sensors have become increasingly common in health and wellness wearables, especially for tracking stress-related physiological changes. Combined with heart rate variability and other biometric data, this could give Garmin a much more detailed understanding of how your body is responding to stress, activity, and recovery. However, Circa may not be designed to replace a Garmin watch completely. One of the biggest limitations suggested by previous certifications is the apparent lack of built-in GPS. That means the device would likely not be able to independently track your route, distance, or location during outdoor activities. Instead, it may rely on a connected smartphone or another Garmin device for GPS data. For runners, cyclists, and serious athletes, that could be a major limitation. But for users who primarily want sleep tracking, recovery insights, stress monitoring, and general health data, the absence of GPS might not be a problem at all. In fact, removing GPS could be part of Garmin's strategy. GPS hardware consumes power, takes up space, and adds complexity. By leaving it out, Garmin could potentially create a smaller and lighter device with better battery life. That would make Circa more comfortable to wear overnight and during everyday activities, which is essential for a device focused on continuous health tracking. The less noticeable the band feels on your wrist, the more likely people are to wear it consistently. And consistent data is ultimately what makes these kinds of devices useful. The latest discovery becomes even more interesting when you look at how Garmin support websites are managed. Garmin Rumors reportedly checked more than 10 regional Garmin websites, including pages for the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and several other markets. Circa was not visible across all of them. Instead, it appeared only on Garmin's Romanian support website. That has led to the theory that a localized version of Garmin's support documentation may have been updated before the company had finished synchronizing the information across all regions. This kind of accidental regional leak is not unusual. Companies often update databases, support documents, translations, and compatibility lists at different times. A product can accidentally become visible in one country weeks before it is officially announced worldwide. In this case, the Romanian page may simply have received an updated version of Garmin's documentation before the company realized that the unreleased Circa name was publicly visible. And when you combine this discovery with everything else we've already seen, the picture becomes increasingly difficult to ignore. Circa has now appeared in trademark registrations, certification databases, retailer listings, regulatory information, and now Garmin's own support infrastructure. None of these discoveries individually confirms a launch date, but together they strongly suggest that this is no longer just a theoretical product hidden somewhere inside Garmin's development pipeline. The biggest question now is what Garmin actually plans to do with Circa. The screenless fitness tracker market has become increasingly competitive, with companies focusing heavily on sleep, recovery, stress, and long-term health trends. Devices in this category are designed around a very different philosophy from traditional smartwatches. Instead of giving you more features, they often try to remove distractions and focus on collecting useful data continuously. That could make Circa an interesting companion product for existing Garmin users. Imagine wearing a traditional Garmin watch during the day for workouts, GPS, training metrics, and notifications, while using a smaller screenless band for overnight recovery and passive health tracking. Of course, the biggest question is whether Garmin would expect people to buy both devices. If Circa offers significantly better comfort or longer battery life than a traditional smartwatch, some users might consider it worthwhile. But if the same data can already be collected by an existing Garmin watch, convincing customers to purchase a second wearable could be much more difficult. Pricing will probably play a major role here. Garmin has not officially revealed how much Circa will cost, and there is still no confirmed launch date. But the product will need to be priced carefully. If it costs too much, consumers may simply choose a full-featured Garmin smartwatch instead. If it is priced aggressively, however, Circa could become an easy entry point for people who want Garmin's health ecosystem without spending hundreds of dollars on a traditional smartwatch. There is also the question of subscriptions. Some competing health and recovery wearables place important insights behind monthly or yearly memberships. Garmin has historically taken a different approach with many of its core fitness features, allowing users to access a large amount of data without paying an ongoing subscription. If Circa follows that philosophy, it could become a very attractive alternative for people who want long-term health tracking without another monthly bill. For now, though, Garmin is still keeping the device officially under wraps. The company has not announced Circa, confirmed its specifications, revealed its design, or provided any launch information. Everything we know is based on leaks and accidental appearances. But the appearance on Garmin's own support website is undoubtedly significant. It suggests that the device is already being integrated into Garmin's software ecosystem, and that usually happens much closer to launch than a simple trademark filing or early certification. So, if you've been waiting for Garmin to enter the screenless health and recovery wearable market, this could be the strongest indication yet that the wait may soon be coming to an end. Circa appears to be shaping up as a compact, display-free wearable focused on passive health tracking, recovery data, stress monitoring, and continuous biometric measurements, with Garmin Connect acting as the central hub for everything you collect. The real question is whether Garmin can convince people that they need a second wearable on their wrist. Would you wear a screenless Garmin band alongside your existing smartwatch if it offered better comfort and more continuous health tracking? Or do you think a modern Garmin watch already does everything you need? Let me know what you think, and if Garmin Circa officially appears, this could become one of the company's most interesting new products in years.